and pretty much a nightmare scenario for civilians. Tens of thousands of people, women and children and the elderly, are fleeing a small coastal area where government troops and rebels are locked in intense fighting. Humanitarian groups say the situation is, quote, catastrophic. Suresh Bartlett is the National Director of World Vision in Sri Lanka. We've reached him by phone from just south of the conflict zone. So, Suresh, you've been working in camps near the war zone. Paint us a picture of what's happening in the camps and in the area.
Yes, hi. I think it's a huge response at the moment. We've got 16 schools that have been used as IDP camps for the internally displaced, and also a larger area called Manik Farm, which has been cleared by the government, which currently houses close to 25,000 people. And in the schools, we had roughly about 45,000 people. So that was what we had up to 2 days ago. And now, of course, as you're hearing reports of well over 100,000 people trekking out of the conflict area, who are now being processed in transit camps before they're moved here to the Babunia district into the camps here. So it's a huge response. And it's going to get massive by the day now.
I have to think this is such a terrifying time for civilians seeking refuge from the conflict. When they get to the camps, what kind of shape are they in and what are their stories?
Well, I think naturally they're all exhausted. I mean, they've trekked a fair distance. They're walking through jungle area and through water. We hear them walking through water that is well over waist deep, carrying their children and their belongings or whatever is left of it. So they're absolutely exhausted. And I think when they get here, I mean, the things that they're most looking forward to is a meal and some rest. And that's what we are seeing at the moment.
And what kind of help are you providing, and how do you need any extra resources to provide either accommodation or food for these people?
Yes, I mean, we are all working at the INGOs, the UN organizations, ICRC and others are working in clusters based on the various areas that we are responding in. So certainly in terms of shelter, we've been responding there and putting up temporary shelter. We provide cooked food as soon as the people come out of the conflict area for a period of 7 days, and then further communal cooking is carried out thereafter at these camps. We also help with complementary food and supplementary nutritional supplements. Also, of course, water naturally is a huge requirement, so tanks are being put up and water bottles are used to supply the camps. And then naturally hygiene, baby kits and other things. And of course, from World Vision's point of view, we are particularly interested in the children. So child protection is a huge aspect of our program. Temporary learning spaces, child-friendly spaces, educational requirements, psychosocial support are some of the other areas they're intervening in. But certainly, I mean, like I said, it was only 60,000 people up until a couple of days ago. Now we're hearing reports of well over 100,000 people trekking out of the conflict area. So it's a huge response, and I think we can do with all the support that we can get at this time.
You know, it's very difficult to determine for these civilians caught in the crossfire whether government troops are preventing, putting them in harm's way, or it's the rebels. Is that picture any clearer to you based on talking to some of the people that you're trying to help?
Not really. I mean, we haven't been in the conflict area, so we don't have independent verification of what exactly is happening. But I think this has now gone on for quite some time, and at last now the civilians are able to break free and come out of that area. So I think from that point of view now we're seeing the huge influx that we've been expecting for quite some months now. And probably we are coming to the end of what has been, a very, very difficult situation for them. So certainly, I think in terms of they're happy to be out, I think, based on some of the discussions we've had with the people. But certainly, yes, I mean, now we need to go through the process of assisting them during this time and then helping in the return and the rehabilitation as soon as possible.
I'm sure these are busy and long days for you and your colleagues. We'll let you get back to your work. Suresh, thanks so much for talking to us and sharing your observations with us.
Thank you.